Hello, it's Charles Fockaert. October 28, 2018. I welcome all of you. Hey, before I forget, November 11 is a big day. It's the end of World War I, and it's 11/11 on the calendar, so I don't know what's going to happen on that day, but for our enemy, that's going to be a big day for them. Hey, this video is, I'm going to try to tie together a few things. I got a email from T&T and also Tall Oak, and I wanted to go over that. First thing I want to go over is they're going to require, the TSA, Homeland Security, is going to require facial recognition now for all domestic flights. See, this is how they do it. They start out with only, in 2015, only those coming in, those non-citizen, non-American citizens coming in from other countries had to have this facial recognition. And let's keep in mind, folks, this all of this TSA, all of this Homeland Security stuff, all got started on that false flag, after that false flag attack on 9/11. And I want to mention it before I forget, that Donald Trump, he hasn't said a word about 9/11. So he's just going on as usual, folks. And a lot of you people think that Donald Trump's on your side, and I'm going to show you here. He's the one that's pushing for the facial recognition for domestic flights. So, all American, legal, born in the United States citizens are going to have to get into their computer program with facial recognition. And I've been saying this from way back. Go back and watch my videos. I said that the wall that Trump's going to build, it started out at how much money? Started out at $9 billion, $10 billion, and Mexico was going to pay for it. Well, the last estimate that I saw is going to cost $21 billion. $21 billion. We don't need a wall. I go into that in detail, why we don't need a wall. We don't need a barrier between us and Mexico. And by the way, why doesn't Trump bring the troops home from Korea, where they have that zone, demilitarized zone there at the 38th parallel between North and South Korea? Why doesn't he bring those troops home? In fact, why doesn't he bring all the troops home? Why doesn't he bring the 28,000 plus troops from South Korea, bring them home? Why doesn't he bring the 40,000 plus troops in Japan, bring them home? That's what he said he was going to do. We're going to bring the troops home. We're in debt up to our eyeballs, and we got military that we're paying for, $800 billion a year budget. And you people just see the few things that you think Trump is doing for the Americans, and you think he's on your side. I got news for you. The white South Africans are being slaughtered. And Trump isn't saying a word about it. Not a word. So what makes you think that these hordes that are coming in, and they're getting in year after year after year, and they're adding up? Who says that our enemy won't supply them with all the weapons that they need to attack us, and we won't be able to get out? I've been up at the border up in Canada and Montana, and there's the patrols up there too, and there's only few ways out of the country going north, mountainous area up there, at least in Montana. The point I want to make is that what they're doing with the facial recognition and the wall, if they build a physical wall, is they're doing it to keep us in, just as much as they want you to think it's going to keep others out. They could keep others out if they wanted to. They don't want to. let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is 5G. Trump is pushing for 5G. I'm not going to go into it, what 5G is and how that's bad. Go figure it out for yourself. But Trump is pushing for 5G. He's pushing for facial recognition, and he's pushing for 5G. Not going to be good for us, folks. Okay, now we got that. Before I go into this fella that shot up the people there in Pittsburgh, I want to talk about the blue label, the blue Jew label on any YouTube videos now. You go to a YouTube video that mentions the Jew, and you got the blue label. And it's a link that goes to Encyclopedia Britannica that gives you the definition of anti-Semitism. So let's go have a look at that, shall we? Alrighty, here's that blue label that you see now on any YouTube video that mentions the word Jew. See that? It says Jew, Hebrew. It says Jew, Hebrew, Yahudi, or Yehuda, and it's got something there in, that I can't read. And then when you click on that, it goes to the article in the Encyclopedia Britannica. Let's go have a look at that, shall we? Well, they've already changed it. See, it's interesting, but it says Jew, people, alternative titles, Yehudi, Yehuda, Yahuhai, Yehudi, written by the editors of the Encyclopedia Britannica. So who's not going to believe the Encyclopedia Britannica, right? And it has Jew people, and it's got key people, Adolf Hitler. I'm going to skip that. Did you know, despite overwhelming physical evidence and testimony that Jews were targeted and that 6 million Jewish people were killed during the Holocaust, about a fifth of Americans believe the Holocaust may not have happened? Oh, here it is. They just changed it from Jew. So, and I saw that. I saw that on an article. I saw that this overwhelming physical evidence quote on an article referring to that man Bauer, who allegedly shot the people there in the synagogue in Pittsburgh. So they just quote it and they put it there, and you're supposed to just believe what they tell you. The overwhelming evidence, overwhelming physical evidence. Well, I'd like to see that overwhelming physical evidence, because the exact opposite is the truth. The overwhelming physical evidence is that the fact that the Holocaust never happened. Here's what it says: a Jew. I'll just read it to you. Jew, Hebrew, Yehudi, or Yehuda, any person whose religion is Judaism. In the broader sense of the term, a Jew is any person belonging to the worldwide group that constitutes, through descent or conversion, a continuation of the ancient Jewish people who were themselves descendants of the Hebrews of the Bible, the Old Testament, and ancient times. And a Yehudi was originally a member of Judah, either the tribe of Judah, one of the 12 tribes that took possession of the Promised Land, or the subsequent kingdom of Judah, in contrast to the rival kingdom of Israel to the north. The Jewish people as a whole, initially called Hebrews, were known as Israelites. See, and I'm going to stop there, but you can go to any YouTube video that mentions the word Jew, and you can read that for yourself. See, that's all a lie. The Jews were not the Israelites. The Jews did not descend from the Hebrews. That's Eber. Abram's father was Eber, and they did not descend from Eber, the Hebrews. The Jews descend from Esau, Edomites. Cain. Nachash seduced Eve, produced Cain. Cain had offspring because he went out away from the garden, away from Eden, and he married non-Adamic race. Esau married, his wives were of the Hittites and the other non-Israelite. That's what it's. You can read about that. Rebecca was upset. Rebecca was upset because if Jacob married the Hittite wives, she didn't know what she was going to do, because she had so many problems with Esau having married the Hittite wives. So this is all a lie, but that's what they're going to force us to accept. And if we don't accept that, we're going to end up in prison like Alfred Schaefer and his sister Monica. So let's talk about that for a minute. Monica Schaefer got 11 months, and she's going to get out for time served. And I think they went easy on her because they want you to think that they have mercy and they're compassionate. But they gave Alfred, because he refused to bend the knee, they gave him a 3.5-year sentence for incitement of hatred. Now, explain to me how in the world just not believing the Holocaust happened the way that we've been told. How does that incite hatred? And it's unfortunate that this guy Bauer in Pittsburgh went off. He's right about a lot of what he says, or he said, that the Holocaust never happened, and other beliefs that he has. And I can't go too far into that here, folks. Alrighty, I'm still on this channel, and you're just going to have to do your own research. But I'm telling you, any Judeo-Christian that comes on here, and if you still think that Jesus was a Jew, and that the Jews, the Schumers, and the Boxers, and the Feinsteins, and the Soros, and the Kushners, and the Trumps, the Drumps, and the Pelosi's, and all of the Zuckerbergs, and all these people that control the internet, Google, and Amazon Bezos, and all the rest of them, if you think that Jesus was one of them, you're an idiot. And I'll go so far, and I've said this before in the past, that if Jesus is a Jew, I don't want anything to do with him. I don't want to be in the kingdom if Jesus is a Jew. You got that? Don't want to be there. So either I'm wrong or you're wrong. And I've looked into it, so I know that I'm not wrong. And my guess is you haven't. My buddy the mechanic here, my quote buddy in quotes, we broke it when I told him the Holocaust never happened. And he told me that he's never going to believe the Holocaust didn't happen. And I said, even if I can provide you with the evidence. And he said, can it? Can it? Anger in his voice. He sticks up for these Jews. He complains about what's going on in this country. And then he'll defend the Jews and the Holocaust, and he doesn't know a damn thing about it. And that brings me to another point here. When are the rest of these alternative media with a large following, I don't want to use the word big shot, but the more popular alternative media men, I don't want to name names, but they love to point out the problems, and they love to point out how bad the Fed is, and how much they've inflated the currency, and how they're behind Google, and they're behind the censorship, and they're behind a lot of the problems going on, but they never want to name the names. I'll give Sean there at SGT, he mentions the Rothschilds, but he never tells you that the Rothschilds were Jewish. When are these men, when are these prominent alternative news providers, or those who try to make try to understand or make sense of what's going on in the world, when are they going to start telling you that these people that are behind the problem, the source of the problem, are the Esau Edomites? We're never going to make any progress. Our progress will be very slow until these men get enough courage out and be willing to lose their following and be able to lose their income. They're hoping that they can buy enough silver and buy enough gold so that when this all flips over, and I call it the reset to reality, that they're going to be okay and they're going to get through it. Well, you know what? They're building the wall. They're getting us so that they can tell exactly who we are, apparently. And we're not going to be able to get out of this country even if we want to, and even if we have a physical passport. They're going to do away with paper passports eventually. That's how they do it, step by step. In an incremental way, they tighten the noose, chain link by chain link, and we're going to wake up one day and we're not going to be able to get out. And what's happening in South Africa is going to start happening here. The difference is there's only a few of us that are going to fight back. Most people are going to, they're all talk. They're all talk. Ain't nobody gonna, they're gonna pry my gun off of me from my cold dead hands and all that. But when it gets right down to it, all they gotta do is hold up the food and wait. Block the food from getting anywhere and then sit back and wait. And we'll see what happens then. I want to thank, there's probably other things I should mention, and but I want to get this up, 18 minutes already. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. And here's where I lose a lot of you, because you don't want to hear about Yahweh, and you don't want to hear about the God of our. Oh, one more thing. And again, I want to thank Tall Oak. She sent me this article, and it's called "Prison Time for the Copernican Model When Children Were Corrupted in the Most Heretical Teaching." And it's an article from 1900, the Cook County Herald, Grand Marais, Minnesota, Saturday, April 21st, 1900. Says Earth is round and he may be thrown into prison. I don't have time here on this video to go into that, but see, the round spinning spear Copernican model was not taught universally like most people think. This is a and it even has a picture down here of the newspaper article South, the Cook County Herald. There, Cook County Herald back in 1900s. This was in London. They were going to throw this man in jail for teaching heresy. The earth is flat, folks. Level plane. It's not moving. And I want to ask the God, the Creator God, for His grace to be upon us all, the white Caucasian race, the Israelites, because it should be most obvious we certainly need it. See you.